If you have a basic sewing pattern for pants and you like to transform your pattern and add pockets or pleats to it, then this video is for you. Hi, I'm Nasrin, the designer behind Needle Eye Patterns, and recently I started a series of videos on how to transform your basic sewing patterns into any design you like. For this tutorial, you can use a block pants pattern or any basic pants pattern you already have at home with single darts or double darts or no darts at all. Let's get started. The first design I'm making is pants with single pleat and slashed pockets. If you're using a pants block pattern, first we need to cut the waistband off the waist. I measured my waistband 5 centimeters, but if you want, you can make it narrower or wider. Measure 5 centimeters on the dart legs and mark, and the center front and the side. Connect the marks together and cut it off. Repeat the same steps for the back. I'll show you how to make the waistband pattern at the end of this video. So, for the slashed pocket, on the front piece, measure from the side going in 3 centimeters and mark. Then from there, draw a line for about 16 centimeters to the side. You can change these measurements depending on the size of your hand, or you can even copy your favorite pants pocket. From the first mark on the waist, measure 12 centimeters and mark again. And then 8 centimeters going down from the mark on the side. Now draw the shape of the pocket bag. Now, using a tracing paper, trace the waistline, the side line. Don't forget to add the notch for where the diagonal line ends on the side seam and the curved line. Also add another notch on the waist to show the line. Before you move the paper, trace the grain line. Just extend the grain line on the pants going up. And this is your pocket piece. Now we have to trace the pocket bag. You will trace the diagonal line, the waistline, the side, and the curve line. Don't forget to add the grain line. And this is the pattern for your pocket bag. Now you can go ahead and erase the curve line on the pants, and we need to cut this line. If you'd like to learn how to sew the slash pocket, watch this video. I'll put the link in the description for you. Now let's work on the pleats. First, measure how wide the dart is on your waistline. Mine was 1 centimeter. Write it down somewhere and ignore the dart for now. I'm actually gonna cover the dart for now because I don't want you to get confused. Now, find the middle of the hemline and mark. We're going to draw a line square to the hemline, going all the way up to the waist. Now, cut the line from the waist going down. And if you want narrow hem for your pants like the Tehran trousers on my website, keep the hem attached together. But if you like flowy wide hem like my Florence trousers, split the hem. Now, on a big piece of paper, draw a straight line. Now line up this side of the pattern with the line on the paper and tape it down. Now we need to decide how big you want your pleats to be. I measured 7 centimeter gap between the pieces and taped the other side down. Now we need to add our dart measurement, which mine was 1 centimeter. I'll mark it here And this makes the total measurement for the pleats 8 centimeter, which gives me something like this. Now go ahead and trace around the pattern. For the hem, only trace this part that stays straight and ignore the other side for now. Now move the initial pattern away. Now complete the hemline just by extending the straight line. Now draw a short line squared to the waist for the placement of the pleat. And decide which direction you want your pleat to be folded. Mine is folded towards the side seam, so I draw an arrow towards the side. This line is your grain line and also the crease line on the front leg. Now let's add fly front. Extend the waist at center front for 4 centimeter, then draw a line parallel to center front and stop just before the hip notch. And draw a curved line from the notch to the line. Now we need to make sure when the fly piece is folded under the pants, the top part lines up with the waistline. So fold the paper at the center front. Then copy the waistline that you can see it through the paper. Now I'm going to add seam allowance around the pattern. Don't add seam allowance where the pleat is for now. I'll show you how to do it later. For the fly front, just add seam at the top. These rulers are great for adding seams. Here I'm adding 1/2 inch seam allowance, so I'm just lining up the 1/2 inch line with the pattern and draw short lines. I added 1 inch for the hem, and here how you cut the hem allowance. Fold the paper at the hem line. Then cut the paper from the sides. This way, you see when you fold the hem allowance up, the side seams line up together and make sewing the hem very easy. For the pleat, I cut the sides first, then I fold the paper on the crease line and close the pleat. Make sure the waistlines are lined up. Then cut the excess of the paper. Now you see it creates this V shape. And done! The second design I'm making is pants with double pleats and slashed pockets. Repeat the first 3 steps as we did for the last design. Create the slashed pocket, measure the dart, then cover it for now. Then draw a line squared to the hemline going all the way to the waist. Now for the second pleat, draw a line between the pocket and the first line, parallel to the first line, for about 30 centimeter. Then connect it to the knee point. Now cut on these lines, but make sure the pieces are still attached together. Now on a big piece of paper, draw a straight line. Then line up this side of the pants with the line and tape it down. Now measure 7 centimeters between the pieces and tape the other side. For the second pleat, make sure the gap between the pieces is at most double the size of this distance. This is because when you fold the pleat, it shouldn't overlap with the first pleat. So for mine, this distance was 3 centimeters, so I made the gap 5 centimeters. So half of it will be 2.5, and it's less than 3. Now, like we did for the first design, I add the dart measurement here, which was 1 centimeter for me, and trace all around the pants. For the hem, just trace this side that is sitting straight, move the pattern, complete the hemline. I'm adding short lines to indicate the pleats lines and the direction of the pleats. Now at the fly front, the same as we did for the first design. Add seam allowance. And done. Now let's make the waistband. First, make sure you labeled the front, back, and the sides. Now fold the paper, add one of the dart legs, and line it up with the other leg and tape. Now line up the side seams and tape. Now trace the pattern on a piece of paper. You can smooth out the corners a little bit and add a notch where the side seam is. And add seam allowance. Draw the grain line parallel to the center front. Add a double notch to indicate the center back and cut around the pattern. So this is one side of the waistband. For the other side, trace the pattern. Then from the center front, measure 4 centimeters and extend the pattern. This is the amount we added to the pants pattern for the fly front. Then complete the seam allowance. Add the notches. And done. If you'd like to learn how to sew these pants, watch this video and stay tuned for more pattern drafting videos. I'll see you next time.